Welcome to Power Talk Podcast. It's great to have you with us today. Today we're going to talk about a subject that we haven't really, I don't think we've ever touched on. We've talked on leadership stuff, but this one's going to be kind of unique. So today I have with me Matthew DeLeon, our campus pastor for Powerhouse Church today.
Yes, sir.
And he's going to help us go through the questions and, add some stuff in there that I think that'll be good for this actual podcast. So anyway,
there we go.
Let's get going, Matthew. What do you got?
So today's title, Pastor, is Traits of a Leader.
Yes.
Traits of a Leader. I think obviously we know it's essential to have traits, right?
Yeah.
But what if you don't have traits? You know?
Well, I think that what we have to do is so it's interesting because I did this talk years ago, and what I did is I split up the difference between personality traits and leadership traits.
Ooh, I like that.
So personality traits are things that inherently are a part of you. You're born with them, okay?
Yeah.
You know, your disposition, basically. Or not your disposition, but it's things that you're born with. Some people are just naturally born with the ability to talk.
Yes.
And some people just naturally tend to know how to deal with things better than others for some reason.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
And those are people that are just kind of born with those. But that doesn't necessarily make them a leader, but the potential's there.
Yeah.
But now when you're talking about personality versus leadership,
Yes.
so you're born with leadership or personality traits.
Gotcha.
Your leadership traits have to be learned.
Okay.
They have to be taught.
Okay.
Okay? Personality traits are a part of your disposition. In other words, it's kind of hard who you are. You're hardwired that way.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the way you think. It's kind of the way you feel about life. It's kind of the way you handle things.
Yeah.
But then leadership traits, it's where it helps your position. Because you're a leader, it actually helps your position when you have a leadership trait.
Yeah.
Personality traits, it's a part of your personal virtues. In other words, it's the way you look at life, how you feel about life, how you handle life.
Yes.
Whereas leadership traits, it's these personal virtues that you have that help increase the leadership trait.
Oh, okay.
Your virtues determine what kind of leadership you'll do.
Okay. And there's a difference between the personal, like you're saying,
Right.
versus the leadership part. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And then lastly, with personality traits, personality traits can mean job placement. In other words, oh man, you know what? Matt's a great guy. I think he'd be perfect for this position.
No, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
But it's going to ultimately be leadership traits that mean job security.
And that's what we want.
Yeah. So, you have the right personality. We like you. People like you. We would love to hire you.
Yeah.
But now do you have the leadership qualities that'll keep you there?
Exactly. I want to go with, really quick here, I'm going to pick number one, Bob. No, I'm just kidding. I want to go back to you're born with it.
Yes.
How much influence do our parents have with this aspect of personal traits?
Yeah, because a lot of that is in there simply because you remember your brain naturally in your body are connected with them.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking a weird karma thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking connected in that however their brain is shaped, your brain is shaped the same way.
It's the DNA, right?
It's kind of in the DNA. And then there's that little extra aspect afterwards that after you're born, they teach you these things. So they're also putting the data in on top of all that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of learned behavior, and I say you've inherited it. So you're born with it, and then some of you inherit.
You inherited it
Yep.
just by default, too.
By default.
Because there's certain traits that our parents have we don't like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And unfortunately, we still have them sometimes.
We do.
Right? We don't like it, but they're there.
We're there. And so our job is to help eliminate those traits
Yes.
that hurt people, offend people.
Yeah, we always want to get better for sure. We always do. We want to eliminate things that are not really complicit with what it is that we're trying to do in life.
Exactly. So the next one I want to go to is talk about, or at least highlight and go through a little more, is virtues.
Yeah.
Like, what are those specifically when it comes to personal trait virtues?
So personal trait virtues are, I just believe abortion's wrong. I believe that we should treat all people fairly, or I believe that, I don't believe they just all be treated fairly. It's those personal traits, those deep things that are within you that have nothing to do with leadership, but they will affect leadership.
Exactly. Things that you stand on no matter what.
Right. They're the kind of the foundation for what you believe. And again, They aren't a leadership trait, but they do affect the leadership traits.
Yeah, and they do.
They do.
They really do. Like you said, in their leadership trait aspect, have virtues that increase that trait.
Yes.
So our virtues should increase the trait.
Right. So if you have good virtues, personal virtues, you're going to increase that trait, that leadership trait.
The leadership trait.
It's because it's going to magnify it.
And so if we don't, we can devalue ourselves. Aside from leadership, just our own personal trait, we can devalue our lives.
Oh, for sure. And this is why when you look at politicians, whether it's at the local level or at the highest level, when they get in, why do they go to become a president?
Yeah.
Or just maybe a local mayor?
Right.
They want to change their communities, right? And they do it based off of what they believe. It's your personal virtues, and you're saying, man, you know what? I really want to help the fatherless. Why? Because maybe you were an orphan or something. Maybe there was something about your life that you're like, you had friends that were orphans. You're like, I want to make sure that families get closer together. I want to be the mayor that really brings committees and brings some committees together and forms some sort of fatherlessness program to help children or whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
You see, those are personal virtues
Right.
that you're taking into your leadership.
Right.
So it's affected that.
Right. One of the traits, personal traits I see in you, and it does also go along with your leadership, is that no matter what decision you make, you want to make sure it's biblical. And that's one thing I've always seen about you. When people come to you with their problems and they tell you how they're going to solve it, you always compare it with the Word. I've seen you in my life, and I've seen you in other people's life. There's something about Pastor Paul. If it doesn't line up scripturally, there's something wrong. That plan seems like there's a problem with it.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting because most of the time when I'm talking with people, Scripture pops up in my head as I'm talking. So it's very natural for me, my bent, to kind of go that. Especially in personal talks where it's dealing with issues. I always I got a scripture that goes with that.
And the reason why I bring that up, because that's a virtue.
Yeah, that's a virtue.
That's a virtue.
So the virtue for me is that we have to lean heavily on the Word of God. And I believe that determines a lot the way I lead. And so some people like it, some people don't. Some people are right, some people are wrong. Whatever the case is, but you're right. We lean heavily. That's a virtue.
Let me ask you that, since we're on that same subject here. How do you disengage or kind of separate yourself from those? They're good friends, and they come to you for an answer. But like yourself, like I said, your virtue is Scripture, and they're like, you know what, I can't do that, and they kind of walk away. How do you separate yourself from that conversation, let alone that friendship?
You mean separate from the way it bothers me or affects me?
Yeah, the way it affects you, yes.
I can't say it doesn't have some sort of effect, because whenever I give people answers, I'm deeply involved in that moment. I always have been, even in counseling. I usually get deeply involved in the moment.
Yeah.
And so I care. A lot of people mistake my aggression for not caring, but I guarantee you, I was telling my wife this the other day, Pastor Cindy, and she goes, because we talk about how that sometimes I'm a little aggressive. I said, but even though those are people that say I didn't care, actually I've cared more than anybody in our church. She goes, well, like what? I said, so I went through the list of people that have literally made big mistakes in our church. Did I not say that they shouldn't come back? Or did I not give them counsel? Did I kick any of them out? I never kicked one person out. Wow. And then I went to the family that was in our own home. Some family that we had live with us that were messing up royally. I never had a desire to get rid of them. Everybody else did. I said, no, let's fix it. I don't. So people think, well, I don't care because I'm so tough on them. No, because I think we can live right. And if you choose not to, I'm going to come at you.
That's good.
But if I didn't care, I'd kick you to the curb every time. I don't kick people to the curb. I've had people kick me to the curb.
For lesser things.
For lesser things. Big time. I've never gotten rid of anybody. I do at some point just say I'm done. But I always leave the door open. I tell people that. I'm always still available. We can always reconcile. I always leave room for reconciliation. I know people that don't.
Yeah.
And the people that have left me, they didn't leave no window open for reconciliation. They went out not only talking bad about me, but they made it known that they want nothing left to do with me. Well, okay, so the point being is, and what I'm saying is that it does deeply affect me, because I'm the one that ultimately has to live with it. They don't.
Yeah.
I actually live with it more than they do.
Exactly.
And people think, oh, it doesn't bother you. It does bother me. Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about it. It does bother me. But I do have to get to the place where it doesn't hurt my spirit. That it doesn't.
And that's why I asked you, because you're a leader and you have this virtuous trait we're talking about here. And I want us to understand, as a leader, how do you deal with that?
Yeah. I totally just, at some point, just say, Lord, I know you can do it. And I know that sounds like the cheesy, most logical answer that you would hear, but I really do that. I just said, Lord, it's terrible what they did. I didn't treat them the way they treated me, and they think I'm the one that treated them bad. They treated me terrible. But I said, Lord, I love them and bless them, but I also won't be the guy that puts up with it either. And I always tell God, I'm not going to put up with it either.
Yeah.
I still am not a pushover. I'm not a doormat.
Yeah.
But my door is always open. I just don't let you walk on me.
Yeah.
But I do let you open the door into my life.
Wow.
I've never closed that.
Wow.
And so that's what people don't understand, is when I'm not allowing myself to be a doormat. No, I don't have to be a doormat.
Yeah.
But the door's always there and you can come in.
Yeah. And that's still a biblical virtue, by the way.
It is. It is a biblical virtue, because Jesus didn't just allow anybody to hurt him. In fact, he wouldn't even lay down his life until he was ready for people to hurt him. He said it.
Yeah.
He says, he said, there's nothing you could do against me unless I lay my life down for you.
Yeah.
I laid it down. You didn't take it, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
You didn't make me your doormat.
Yeah.
I gave myself up freely.
Yeah.
And the point is that
Yeah.
it was all throughout Scripture. Paul even told people, avoid these people. He's saying, I'm not going to be their doormat. But if they ever get it right, I'm also there for them too.
He did say that. He sure
And
did.
so the point is that I've learned to live that way, and so that's the only reason I can get through it now. Before, it used to be really hard on me. Not no more. I can talk about it; it doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
Because I just know that's just the nature of people that don't have their heart right. I can't be surprised. Why am I surprised?
Yeah.
It's just the nature of sin.
Yeah.
And if you choose to live it, so that's how I deal with the emotion. I'm like, I've really gotten to this place in life where it's really, Lord, it does hit, but it doesn't hurt my spirit.
Wow. It doesn't stay there either.
Nuh-uh. It hits the fleshly man, but it doesn't hurt my spirit. Because the fleshly man loves these people more than they know.
Yeah.
They don't think I do, but I do.
That's really
I'm
good.
just not going to put up with your stuff. I'm not the doormat.
Yeah. I'm glad I asked, because, again, some leaders out there who are watching are going to deal with that, Pastor, in their leadership.
They deal with it all the time, but don't know how to deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, right? They have the
Yes.
problem come to them all the time, but they
Yes.
really don't have a clue. Hopefully
Yeah.
this does help you, because honestly, there is a right way to deal with problems and yet not allow the problem to hurt you.
This goes on with parenting.
Yeah,
Goes on with any kind of even secular job too, Pastor.
for sure. So that's a great virtue. These are virtues that we have to deal with and have.
I agree.
So.
Leadership is defined as somebody who guides, directs, or is in charge of others. Somebody or something in front of others. And so here we also have here trait. So the traits now is defined as character or quality that distinguishes somebody, or hint or trace of something.
Like behavior,
Mannerisms. Yeah, mannerisms, qualities, and characters.
Yes.
The last part, Pastor, is leadership trait. An individual with unique qualities and capabilities that give them the capacity to direct and be in charge of others.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a mouthful from leader traits and leadership traits, period.
Yeah. So you have to know what a leader is first.
Yes.
He's the person in charge.
Yes.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
But the traits are personal to them.
Yes.
Again, it's their personal behavior, it's their qualities, it's their mannerisms, it's their beliefs, it's their character.
Yes.
But then they take that leadership, they apply those traits, and now you've got leadership traits
That are unique.
And what you'll find is that they take that uniqueness into their leadership, and it's a part of a leadership trait. Okay, so you got your personality traits, you've got a leader, and you put them together, and you got a leadership trait.
You know, it's fun because I've been under you for over 30 years, right? You have your leadership traits, I have
Right.
my leadership traits.
Yes, exactly.
But they always have an same end goal.
Yeah, we have the same end goal. Even if we approach it a little
Just a
different.
little differently.
We still have the same end goal. That's exactly right.
Because my traits, I was raised a little differently than you were raised a little differently.
Totally.
Still had a man in our lives, but just raised a little differently.
No, you're totally
But the
right.
same goal is God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven,
Yes.
using these leadership traits.
Yep. And that's what we need to understand, is that these leadership traits are simply the actions that we need to learn and then use them to be the best leader that we can possibly be. And so leadership traits basically help us become an effective leader of people. And like I said, some people don't like certain leadership traits. And in the world that we live in, especially because we live in California, leadership isn't well accepted.
No.
And I say that because I've been in other parts of the country. You know, I've been like in Waupun, Washington. They're much better at handling it than we are. I go to Mexico, they're even better. They're even better. So, and the reason is simply because of this. I don't know what, it's a spiritual problem, whatever. And I don't really want to go deep into all that. But the point is that depending on where you are is dependent upon what kind of leader that people accept too. And so a lot of people don't like real strong leadership.
That's good.
Here in California.
Yeah.
I've noticed that the real strong leaders really struggle to get people.
They do?
The weaker leaders, doesn't mean that they're not good leaders, but when I say weak, I'm talking as far as their how can I say it? I don't want to lose the word. Their mannerism, their behavior, that quality or their character, the way they portray themselves.
Yeah.
There's just something about the weaker ones that people tend to gravitate to a little easier because they're so non-intrusive. You don't intimidate me. Strong leaders are intimidating, and a lot of people can't handle strong leadership today. This is why when we see strong leadership in government, people fight it. But when you see weak leadership, everybody kind of just like, well, he's trying his best. It's like, yeah, but he's doing a terrible job.
Yes.
You can't be a weak leader in that position. And people are okay with that to some level. We give them excuses. We even give them room to mess up, and it's okay. But the strong leader, no.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just kind of the society we live in.
Yeah. On here, Pastor, you have trait enhancer. You talk about practice, attitude, intentions, and prayer. What do you mean by practice?
So basically what an enhancer is, a trait enhancer. So you've got your leaders, you've got your personality traits, you got your leadership trait. And when we're talking leadership traits, there's enhancers that make you better.
Okay. Yeah.
These can enhance your leadership. So if you're failing as a leader, these enhancers can make you better and make you succeed.
We want to be better. We should want to be better.
Right. These enhancers, maybe you're a good leader. They can make you even better.
Wow.
Make you even more successful.
Yeah.
And so, for one of the trait enhancers is practice. In other words, work on it. Work on it. Leadership isn't just a learned behavior. It's something that you work out and you work on. You work on it.
Okay.
You work on being a better leader. So if you realize, wow, you know what? I notice that the people turn me off when I do this. Okay, then maybe you need to turn that thing off that you do and do it different or better. Or maybe your direction, people don't follow your direction really easy. Maybe it's because you're not saying it correctly. Well, become a better speaker. Learn to practice your communication.
I like that.
So you practice it, you work on it, and you become a better leader.
Wow, that's really good.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, I love that. One of the people I've learned I kind of don't want to say his name, but I'll say his name. His name is Jordan Peterson. One of the things I've seen over the years is that he realized himself that he was this frumpy old college professor. And he said the moment he put a suit on, he said he got respect.
Yeah.
His leadership changed the moment he put a suit on.
Yeah.
And he realized the reason why they weren't listening before, because he wasn't presenting himself well. He goes, my information is top notch.
Yeah.
I'm a studier. I'm a student of information.
Yeah.
But he goes, the moment he put a suit on, he realized people started respecting him. So he just grew in his leadership by simply realizing, I got to be presentable.
Yeah. No, and that's important. So you got to practice, and how you practice on it is when you see those little flaws, you work on it.
Yes, exactly.
And so that's really what it means to practice, is put to practice the things that are weak and make them stronger. That'll help you become a better leader. It'll increase your leadership traits.
Exactly. And be received, right?
Yeah, and the way you're perceived, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. The attitude.
Yeah, attitude. So this will increase your leadership trait for sure.
Yeah.
Your emotion and your expectations, your attitude towards something, which is basically what attitude is. It's the emotion and the expectation. Look, in other words, it's about how you treat life.
Yeah.
It's the expectation that you have. It's the emotion and expectations that you want. It's the desire and the passion for the certain results that you're looking for. It's the belief in people the belief in the people that you serve. So the attitude that you have towards all these things, look, if I have an attitude that says, well, you know, Matt, look, I love you,
But
you know, you're just not going to be good enough to do that.
yeah.
Well, that attitude does not increase my leadership trait,
Right.
especially with you.
Yes.
But if I say, hey, Matt, you know, I know that you've been struggling with this, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's do this. It'll make you even better.
Yeah.
You'll get through it.
I feel
you
better
can
about
do
it.
this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You feel
yeah.
better.
I feel
You
better
see,
about
that
it.
increased my leadership trait. It increased the leadership trait of trust and respect.
Wow.
It increased the leadership trait that you need to have where you have influence,
Yeah,
which is,
yeah,
by
yeah.
the way, one of the most important according to John Maxwell.
Yes. Yeah.
And so now I have an influence because it increased my leadership trait
Yeah.
by having the right attitude.
Yeah, I love it, Pastor. To me, we have other ones going to talk about, but attitude seems to be like the main course, if you will, when it comes to trait enhancers, is the attitude.
Yeah. Attitude is extremely important because attitude has a lot to do with the way people perceive you, right? Your attitude is your emotion. What's your attitude towards me? What's your attitude towards that? What's your attitude towards problems? What's your attitude towards people?
Yeah.
What's your attitude towards fixing solutions?
Yeah.
You know?
You give a key word, too, because the attitude, obviously, it reveals your emotion behind it, too.
Yeah. Attitude is everything.
The emotion, man, because
Yep.
we're so emotional in this generation, Pastor.
Look, if I can increase my attitude to a 10, I can get everybody else to a 10.
Yeah.
But if I increase my attitude to an 8, everybody stays at a 6. Because the only way you can ever get people to a 10 is if you're at a 10.
Wow.
But you would think, well, then if I get to an 8, at least everybody will get to an 8. Nope.
Right,
They're
right.
always 2 points less than you are,
Wow.
except when you hit a 10.
Wow.
When you hit a 10, everybody's at that level.
Wow. How hard is it to get to that level?
That's hard.
Yeah.
Because not everything in life works out the way you want. So it's hard to have the right attitude. It's hard to have an attitude when you failed. It's
Yeah.
hard to have an attitude when you're just naturally negative. It's hard to have a great attitude when honestly people don't listen.
Exactly. And again, your comment here, it's how you treat life.
It's how you treat life. So attitude is everything in so many ways because it determines how many people want to follow you. It really does. So there you go.
There's also the wins and losses also help too to a certain degree, right? When you're facing
Yeah,
situations.
I mean, attitude is affected by a lot of things, but some people just have a natural instinct to get past even the losses. I'm not one of those guys, so I have to work on it a little bit harder than everybody. My attitude's more at like an 8 or a 7 or an 8.
Yeah.
So I have some things I have to work on.
Sure.
But I know a couple. I've known I've walked across a couple of people in my life. Their attitude's 10 all the time. I'm like, how do you do that? Do you never have problems? No, they have problems. They just know how to handle it emotionally and mentally all the time. And I'm like, man, I got to work on that.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
That's so awesome to see that.
And so when you get to that place where it's like, no, nothing bothers me.
Yeah.
God's got this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a winning attitude. I got to have
Yeah.
that attitude.
Oh, I love it.
And that's why Paul even said, let this mind be in you. And he shared with you what his thought was. And then he said, now let this mind be in you.
Wow, that's
He
good.
gave us the attitude to have.
Wow.
And he's like, now take my attitude and let it be in you.
That's good.
And so we have to have that mind.
I love that.
Ain't that good?
I love it. The next one, Pastor, is intentions.
Intentions have everything to do with your motives. Everything to do with your personal agendas.
Okay.
So what is the reason for your leadership? Why do you want a position? Well, it depends on what your motive is.
That's good.
Have you ever considered the cost of the sacrifice?
Yeah.
Or do you do this for yourself? You see, these all have to do with what your motives are. So if I sat and asked you, Matt, I said, Matt, so you wanna move, and you want to move to another state, knowing that God's got you here. What for?
Yeah.
Right? That would be
Yeah.
the logical question. I want to
Yeah.
know your motive.
Yeah.
I want to know, did God talk to you?
Yes.
Or are you just tired of something? Or
Yeah.
is it just you're tired of this ministry? You offended about something?
Yeah.
I got to know
yeah.
what the motive is.
That's good.
And so when you have the right motives and you don't do them with sneaky, hidden agendas,
Yeah.
and people know that they look at you and they, wow, you're truly a legitimate, honest person, or you deserve to be, you increased your leadership trait. That people say, I know your motive.
Wow.
I know Matt would never do that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's how, when you,
It's true.
so, and I say this only because he's here, but you've stuck up for me before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, please.
You vouched for me, I think, in one of the podcasts just previously that we had.
Yes.
You vouched because you know my motives.
Yes.
Right? You know that
Yes.
I don't
Your
have
intentions.
those hidden agendas. You know my intentions when I say something because Matt knows I'm the guy that I mean what I say and say what I mean. I'm not afraid of to say, and if I should be afraid, I just won't say it at all. Right?
Yeah.
But I should just not speak. But my point being is that that's how we learn people's intentions, is by being around them. And if your intentions are always right and pure, you've increased that leadership trait. It's a leadership trait.
That's true.
It increases your leadership traits.
Yeah.
I should say.
Yeah. That's wonderful, man.
Yeah.
I want to stay there. I don't know what else to say because I just think intentions and motives. Oh, that's what it was, Pastor.
Yeah.
What about somebody who wants to start a business? I mean, to me, you want to look at that and really delve in. What's my intention in starting a business? Who's my audience and what do I do?
Yeah. I mean, you got to first ask yourself, am I putting into practice the things that I know that are weak?
Yeah.
Because if you become a businessman, but you're not good with the people, doesn't matter. If you want to become a businessman, you don't have an attitude that people like, it doesn't really matter. People aren't going to buy from you. If you have hidden intentions to take advantage of people will see through it and say, I don't want to pay you, I'll pay that guy. And I'll pay him more.
For sure.
Because he's not about the money.
Right.
You are, right?
And to me, honestly, you can use this at business. This model you have here, here, the trait enhancer for these 4 things, you can use it as a business model.
I totally agree.
To follow that.
I totally agree because this is a great little 3 or 4 steps here.
Yeah.
That if you just learn these few little things and work on these, man, there's really nothing in your world that can't be opened up to you.
Yeah, Pastor, we have a daycare business, and I'm telling you, if we'd have learned this before, there'd have been money for Carol and I because the headaches and heartaches it is to start up a business.
No, it's true, buddy. Because honestly, we always learn to better ourselves because the Bible teaches us, right?
Yeah.
What we don't know is we don't sometimes know how to define it, and we don't know how to chip away at it till we see what it is that we really are talking about.
Yes.
Well, this is what we're doing here today.
Yeah.
We're chipping at it and we're saying, okay, how do you want to get that? How do you want to be better at the one thing you're not so good at? Let's put it into practice.
Yeah.
Look, there's no such thing as a football player. When you hear about the story of like Michael Jordan, we thought Michael Jordan was the greatest dunker of all time in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Then, of course, there's guys now that are even better than he was, okay?
Yes.
But it doesn't matter. This is a guy that didn't dunk the basketball until he was in like a senior in high school or college. This is a guy that didn't make the varsity team the first year.
Whoa.
But do you think that he didn't practice?
Practice.
He practiced it. He wanted to be the best at what he did. You go look at the videos of Kobe Bryant and the effort, the work that he put in. When everybody else went home, he still took another 1,000 shots.
Whoa.
He took another 1,000 shots. It would take him another 2 to 3 hours worth of practice, long after everybody was gone. He was the first one there at 3 or 4 in the morning. He was the last one to go at midnight.
Wow.
He said, because I had to get my 1,000 shots in.
Wow.
That's practice.
Wow.
And that's why he ended up. Now, some people say, well, he's not the best. It's not about that. The truth is, out of the tens of thousands of basketball players that ever played, he is one of the best.
Top 5.
Period.
Yes, he is.
And if you're in the top 50, that's pretty amazing.
Yes, sir.
Out of the tens of thousands.
That's right.
But he's in top 5.
He's in top 5, man.
Right? So the point is that he wanted to enhance the trait that made him what he was.
Wow.
And it took practice to do that.
Wow. That's so good, Pastor.
Isn't that good?
And unfortunately, we're out of time.
Oh, man, always out of time when we're just getting good.
Do you have any closing comments for us
You know
today,
what?
Pastor?
Look, your personality is extremely important because that was built into you by God. But the leadership that you have to convey, and you say, well, I'm not really a leader. Trust me. If you influence people, it doesn't matter if it's one person or 1,000,000, you're a leader.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to get married, you're going to be a leader in your home.
That's good.
If you ever want to serve in your church, it automatically makes you a leader. Even if it's at the lowest level, it makes you still a leader. It still makes you a person that has to make decisions. And people that have to make decisions are leaders.
Come on.
So what's my point?
That's good.
Take these things here and apply them to your life and say, I'm going to get in there. And the one that we didn't talk about was prayer. That was the other trait enhancer. If you want to be great at being a leader, you're going to have to go to God for the help. You're going to have to seek Him. You're going to have to know God personally to help you through the process of being a good leader. So you practice it, develop the attitude that's right, make sure your intentions and your motives are godly, and most of all, go to God in prayer. And I guarantee you'll be the kind of leader that no matter where you go and what you do, and like I said, whether it be leading one person or multitudes all around the world, God will bless you immensely. So we hope that you got something good out of this. Share it and like it. Definitely go in and let people know to listen to this. And then also we have ABLA, ablacademy.org, ABLA Academy. And go check us out if you need some biblical studies. We're just giving you little tasters of things that we know, but there's some real depth in the school itself. And you say, I'd love to have a diploma. We give out a certified diploma, and it's all at your convenience. You can work on it on your computer. Your convenience. If you've got a job full time, which like, man, I can't go to school, costs me way too much. We take care of all that. It's cheap compared to any college, but to still get the kind of certification to prove that you know your stuff, how good is that, especially if you're called to ministry, or if you just want to teach Bible studies in your church, or you just want to raise up your family and give that word, or you just want to know the depth of truth that maybe you didn't know. ABLA is the place for you. It's convenient, it's cheap, or it's cost effective, I should say, but yet at the same time it's quality. So anyway, we love you. You have a blessed week.
Amen.
Thank you to all our incredible supporters for your generous contributions. This episode of Power Talk Podcast is proudly brought to you by Paul Chicotto Ministries. At Paul Chicotto Ministries, we are passionate about making a global impact. We support a variety of ministries around the world, including Teen Challenge, Harvest Now Ministries, and the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. If you're seeking biblical and spiritual growth, ABLA provides an enriched learning environment tailored to meet students' educational needs. Visit our website at ablacademy.org for more information. If you feel led to give and join us in this mission, please visit paulchicottoministries.com. Thank you for being a part of our community, and we'll see you next week.